Ooh wee, y'all. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Y'all know it's Tuesday. On a Tuesday at 7, as usual, we are on deck. Karen Nichols, I see you. Thank you for checking in. How you doing tonight? Vonda Powell is in the house. Katura Green, what's up? What's up? I see you, Normal. Even if you don't think I can see you, Normal, I see you. I see Normal. That's my friend Normal, y'all. Nita 730. Hey, okay, ladies and gentlemen, how is everyone? I hope you have had a prosperous and productive week. I hope that everything has gone well for you. Y'all, on tonight's show, we're going to discuss because y'all do I need let me back up right quick. Hey Gigi Jules. It is competition season, y'all. It's that time of the year. And because it's competition season, every single year we manage to go through this thing. It's a thing that we go through. And we try to figure out sometimes what's really going on. And this is one of those evenings where I'm going to do my best to try and help make some sense of some of the things that we deal with in the Steppers community. And because it's competition season, now let me tell you, some of y'all don't necessarily care for the competition part of the year. A lot of y'all say, oh, I'm not going to that. I'm not going to sit and watch people dance. Well, let me tell you, I encourage it, and I encourage it for a couple of different reasons. For one, I think it's very important for thank you, One Love. I think it's very important for everybody to get an opportunity to kind of see another side of the game, if you will. And I know a lot of people have seen it and I can't sit still for that long. I want to get up and I want to dance too. But I think that this lends toward the collective culture of the dance. And I think it's important for people to, if not necessarily just attend in person, but be able to, enjoy it while we do our live stream. So y'all get ready. We're going to be doing the live stream of the whole thing. It's going to go down, y'all. Vonda Powell, I see you. Phyllis Harris. That's my girl Phyllis right there, y'all. I think it adds to the collective, the cohesiveness of the community when we have an opportunity to kind of see who's taking the time to get on that stage and do their thing. I think that is very important. So I found there was a post the other day by my man Drew Alexander. Now I didn't go through it completely, but he posed he made a statement. I don't know if it. Let me see if I can find that right quick. Because the thing that he said had to do with the dance and how we view what other people are doing in the dance. He made it where, let me see. He wanted to know, or made the comment that if everyone danced in the category that they are, here we go. The comment was, if only couples danced in the category their dances belong to, the contest would be much better. Well, there are differing opinions on this, and this particular post has gone 172 comments deep. I have not read those comments, but I am, however, because it was brought to my attention today, going to add a bit to that. But before I get into that, because I am going to have a guest on to discuss that particular topic, and there are a few reasons why, although that is a well-placed comment, there are some nuances that go with it that are going to maybe add clarity or pose questions that have yet to be answered. But let me give a shout out right quick to Sanji Stewart. Living the 8 count. If you guys are not on her website. You need to check that out, livingtheacount.com, or check her out, Sanji Stewart, and her post that she made today. I enjoyed, and I think it's something that I find interesting. And in fact, producer lady and I have had this conversation in the past where we talked about events, and like her birthday party comes up all the time, right? All the time, every year. And every year when her birthday party comes up, we generally do hey, Tiffany Smith, we generally do a birthday party for her. And when we do it, she always makes the comment that she doesn't want any DJs to DJ her party that don't dance. And I don't necessarily disagree, but she likes that idea. Bernice Newsom Short, I see you. Arjanelle Anderson, thank you for checking in. Felicia Walker in the house. That is her preference for her birthday. So today, Sanji made a post, and she said, where are all, or the dancing DJs? Actually, I need to find that post too. And it lended toward what the conversation my wife and I had about that very same topic. And then the question became, what DJs have you seen or not seen who dance and who don't? Which ones dance and which ones don't? And as a matter of fact, let's see, I can't find, oh, wait a minute, here we go. Nope, that's not it. As a matter of fact, I thought it was interesting because there are not sometimes a lot of DJs, or at least I thought there were not a lot of DJs who actually dance, but then I was proven wrong, because after I really gave it some thought and I really, really thought about it, I realized that most of the DJs do dance. Most of the guys that I know, that I see around the dance community, most of them will leave the DJ booth and get out on the floor and get in just a little bit, which I think is a good thing. I think it's a great thing, actually. I think it's necessary. Darlene Mans, how you doing? I mean, hell, sometimes I'm up there DJing, man, and, you know, that music get to feeling good, Jack. You know, I'll be back there dancing by myself. So, you know, sometimes somebody will see me back there dancing, and they'll come back there and dance with me, which is fine. Well, for me anyway. I don't know about other DJs. So, you know, a lot of them don't necessarily want that. But the point is that there are a lot of DJs who do get out and get it in. And I added a few to that list myself today. And I can't think of only maybe one or two that actually don't. I think I can name more who do dance than don't. Okay, enough of that. Anyway, shout out Sanji Stewart. Y'all check her out. Living the 8 count. She gets it in with her articles. Fantastic stuff, y'all. Check her out. So now let's get back to the topic at hand. Style and Steppin, how you doing? Thank you for checking in. Tim Ellington. Tim Ellington. You think you can have someone on your show that judges the contest and explain what they look for and how the scoring is set up? Tim Ellington, we are actually going to discuss some of that tonight, as a matter of fact. Tim, I'm actually going to make an attempt to reach someone who can give us just that information. Let me see here. And the reason is because I actually had this discussion. We were talking about this very thing earlier today, and that's what prompted tonight's show topic, because the questions continue to come in as we're discussing these events and how they should be handled in regard to, let me see, doggone it, and the way they should be handled in regard to the scoring, and of course the way everybody views it from the outside. I mean, because we all look at the events and we have our opinions, and I definitely have a comment.
Pat Clay and Bridget White judged in Milwaukee. Then you know Susu has
Okay, so what you
judged
said?
in
No,
Fort Lauderdale.
okay, thank you. She was giving me some insight on some of the judges, but I'm getting ready to call. I'm about to reach out to a judge. I know he's going to be like, what the hell? I'm getting ready to reach out to a judge right now and see if I can get him on the show. Someone who I know has judged almost all of the contests. And we're going to ask that very question because it's going to lead directly into the subject matter for tonight. And I'm glad you brought that up because I was gonna do that and then it kind of slipped my mind. I was like, I don't know, but I think that it's gonna definitely play into that entire line of thinking. Let's hope he answers. If not, we have another guest that we'll be bringing on anyway. Because here, let's because what we're gonna get into really is what is it that separates, say, for example, the new school from the old school. Daryl Smooth Greenwood in the building. The collaboration is real, fam. Let me get my fist over there. Collaboration is real, baby. What is it that separates the new school, for example, from the old school? Okay, we didn't get an answer there. What is it that, and here, the discussion that I want to get into, and this would actually be a great topic if I could call my man Casper. May he rest in peace and in paradise, because this would definitely be one of those times I'd be calling him to discuss this particular topic. However, let's keep this in mind, y'all. When we look at the competitions, you got to remember something. The designation, okay, first let me do this historically speaking. Prior to the world's largest itself. Now, for those of you who don't know this, I'm getting ready to lay it on you. I'm about to give you some historic game here. Prior to the world's largest, or better yet, let me go back. And I say prior to the world's largest. Prior to the world's largest in its inception, there were stepping competitions all the time in different places, 300, 500. If you all were paying attention last week, I put up a post with a bunch of old flyers from a bunch of club sets around Chicago from back in the, mid 80s into the 90s. And if you looked on there, you would see some of those were stepping contests where there was, 300, 500, a little money involved. My wife and I, back in, that was 1991, we won a competition that literally paid for our daughter's Christmas that year. There were always, I believe it was $500, something like that. There were always stepping competitions around Chicago. Now, Crystal Kane, how you doing? Thank you for checking in. Kenneth Wynn, Stephen Wright, what's happening? Now, what happened was suddenly we end up with a major competition for all of the people around the city who call themselves steppers, people who was about that life, right? Now, it was sponsored by a major corporation, a lot of money on the line, and a lot of people who wanted to get into the contest. So everybody jumps into the contest, right? I see you, Wanda Scales. That's my girl right there, Slim. Penny Pina. And so everybody jumps into the contest, but here's the difference. Back then, you literally had to qualify. Vicky Murray in the house. You had to qualify. Now, the way the competition is set up, if you simply go to a preliminary and dance, you qualify to dance in the competition. Well, that's nice, but the competition is not nearly as stiff as it once was. And that is the reason why just about everybody who goes to a preliminary ends up in the big show, because we need those bodies, we need those people in the house. Donald Scruggins, I see you. And because we need those bodies in the house, hey, you got in it. Let's go. Get up there and do your thing. Okay, cool. Now, prior to all of this, when we had the original world's largest competition. There were judges and people who determined who the best dancer was. Now, I need y'all to remember this one simple fact. Back then, it was winner take all. There were no categories. There were no, you didn't have beginners. You didn't have new school. You didn't have old school. You didn't have 60 and over. You didn't have walking. You didn't have none of that. Who was the coldest stepper on the set? Period. Winner take all, 10 racks, $10,000. Now, fast forward. David Calhoun, I see your family. Thank you for checking in. Hey, Karen Fuller. Moving forward, it got to the point where there were people who were complaining about the fact that they weren't from Chicago and they didn't dance the same way and this type of thing right here. Super Dave in the house. Kenneth Wynn, I see you. And they felt like they didn't have a shot at the prize. So they came up with an out-of-town category. How many of you knew about that? How many of you knew school steppers who say you've been in the game 10, 20 years? How many of y'all knew that there was a category called out-of-town category? That category was set up for the people who were not from Chicago, who couldn't necessarily compete against those who were from Chicago, and they got an opportunity to do the thing in their space. Okay. As time moves on, and you do have people who, for example, no longer live in the city from Chicago. You have people who were outside the city that were learning learning this dance in its what we know today infancy, not original from back in the 70s, but for what we know today, it was in its infancy, and people started to learn the dance in different ways. This is around the same time in the inception of the 8 count. Now, moving forward, it became necessary to add even more categories in order that there be more people to be able to compete. Because let's keep it 100. If you had to get out there and go up against the likes of Casper and Ty Skippy and George Macaroni and some of the other people who been about this life all their life, who know this dance inside and out. These are people, Lil Mike, you had the Susus and the Darlindas and all the ladies who came up from back in the day, Demita. You had a bunch of people who were moving along in this dance in ways that other people just did not understand. And I'm gonna add Sharice Wright's comment right now. The stepper scene has been destroyed. It has been commercialized. It's really a sad case of affairs. Just my opinion. There you go. And I don't want to hang the moniker of destroyed on it, although I get it. But I want to, and I'm giving this, I'm providing this information because I want people to understand where this thing came from and how we got to where we are and why the judging is where it is. Now, once all these other categories got added to the mix and other people started to do things in the dance, I want to talk particularly about a specific category where normally it would have been, just stepping. Because you have to also understand that all of these different names and all of these different monikers that were put on this dance over the years, this is all new. These are all things that terms that we never used coming up in the dance. All of these different terminologies became necessary in order for other people to understand what was going on and to participate in the dance. And I guess they had to call it something because it became a thing. It became the primary thing. The dance itself was never, in the lifestyle of many of us, the dance was not the primary thing. It was a byproduct of a lifestyle that a lot of different people lived. So no one ever really went, and said, this is what we're doing. All of this came about when it became more prevalent. And I believe that the world's largest competition did give it breathe new life into something, or give it a different facade than what it had been prior to the 90s, the early 90s. Smiling Happily, thank you so much. She says, hello, and everyone in the path of the hurricane, be safe. Thank you for putting that out there, Smiling Happily. You are absolutely correct. And yes, if we have any of our Florida family, y'all down there, please be careful and make sure you are safe. So moving forward, all these different categories got created. Now, in particular, the old school, new school category. This is where things have become, or should I say, have gone off the rails, if you will. And here's why. Now, between Casper, Weasel, Footwork James, and a few others, with their creativity, if you will, capes, jumps, diapers, and just to name a few things that took place during these competitions, it got to the point where original dancers or people who, were doing different things didn't want to compete against people wearing skates or diapers or capes, and the list goes on. So they decided to separate that particular category into two, and it became old school and new school. Old school being, and this is where the confusion comes in, because people are not sure, including myself, what those things actually mean. And matter of fact, Pete, if you on here, hell, chime in. Matter of fact, I see my man Doc, Mr. Dockery. I see you. If you'd like to talk with me this evening, I would love to have a conversation with you, my brother. You could help us with this conundrum we have here. Let me know if it's okay for me to reach out to you on Messenger, on the live here. So the category division, if you will, not only divided up the dance category, but it divided up the dance community, if you will. And I think that it's been a challenge ever since. Now, the qualification, or should I say the qualifications, the criteria for each of these dances shifted based on what you could and could not do on the floor during those times. The rules that you had to have 1 foot on the floor at all times came up. The rule that you couldn't use props came up. The particular style of dance. Now, this is where, and this is why it gets confusing for many people. And like I said, again, including myself, a lot of instructors do not necessarily teach the specific basic dance. They'll teach people the 8 count and then begin dragging them through other areas of the dance that are more nuances and style than they are the solidifying the foundation. Okay. So what happens is, instead of people having that one compulsory uniform understanding of what the basic 8 count dance is, or for that matter, the basic original dance is, all of a sudden things start to change. And because people have been taught this way, and been taught this way for so long, really since almost the beginning, it has become normalized, and it can only be one of two things. Either people don't know, and they're teaching what they do know, which sometimes is not enough, or they do know, and they're more interested in extracting currency from your pockets. Now, either way, that's not a good look. So with the division of the category, here's where the problem comes in, and this goes back to the comment that Drew made about people dancing in the category they're supposed to be dancing in. I don't really believe that we have the problem of, I don't even want to call it a problem. It was an innovation. Mari Matei, I see you. Thank you for checking in. I don't want to use the word problem because it was innovative when people were wearing capes and people were wearing diapers and doing all sorts of wild things and roller skating and stepping and the whole nine. But it caused everybody to have to reevaluate what we were doing. Hey, Lisa Luckett, thank you for checking in, my dear. Lisa Luckett got a nice event coming up, y'all. We're gonna give you more information on that. It changed the way we viewed what we were doing, and it made things have to more or less devolve. So what happened, and because I really don't believe that now, as where we are in this dance, we have to worry about too much of that happening ever again. And so therefore, it confuses me as to why there's a necessity for old and new school. Because let's be honest, if you watch the people dance in each category, and just remember, the term old school and new school were actually provided for the purpose of competition, not everyday dance. Because you've only got two versions of what we do. That's the original, which does not necessarily involve the 8 count, and what we know now as new school, which is the 8 count, and whatever the basic and everything that goes with that is. Understand that the original dance was always from, well, not, I ain't gonna say always, mostly from the waist down. If you watch any original dancers, you will see that they are hips, legs, feet. And that's where your footwork is, where it comes from and what's happening. Thank you, producer lady. Bridget, Miss Bridget White. How are you this evening? I see you and Kurt looking in. Bridget, do you feel like coming on the show for a few minutes? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to have you on because you judged one of the recent competitions, and I'd like to pick your brain just a little bit. Let me know if that's okay. So because there's so many nuances to the dance outside of the actual basic. And when I say basic, understand that the basic consists of more than 8 steps. The basic dance has a certain set of components that if you learn those components, you don't ever have to worry about being able to keep up with anybody or dance with anybody ever again. You'll be right there no matter what happens. Sharice White says, I'm trying to figure out who appointed folks, the gatekeepers, over who is doing it right when everyone has their own style, or everyone should have their own style. Sharice, to answer your question, okay, that'll be fine. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to tell him I'm going to hit him on Messenger here in 1 second. It's not a matter of gatekeeper, Sharice. It's that, and I'm going to use this analogy, but if you ever ask a pimp who the coldest pimp is, he going to always say, it's me. I'm the coldest pimp. But here's what you got to understand. No matter what happens in this dance world, the only thing that's going to matter is if and when we decide to have a uniform set of criteria, which also is only going to benefit us, or will benefit us greater in the competition area. Here's why. If you put a bunch of people, let's say we got a bunch of people who've never stepped before. And this is how simple it should be. We should not have to necessarily rely on every single judge's of the judges that we have now to be always the ones that judge the dance. We should actually have a set of criteria that literally is written that a layman can walk up, sit at that counter, sit at that table, at that judge's table, and look at what the judges should be looking for in the dance and say, okay, they did this, 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 and this, and be scored according to what they did or didn't do. But we can't do that because we have no uniformity. And until we do, there's going to always be confusion about what we are doing. I don't care how you lay that out. That's the bottom line. Anthony Sumner says, many of the nuances that disturb so many of the pioneers are the very things that turn this thing into the national phenomenon that it has become. Yeah, it's not that the nuances are not what disturb people. I don't think. This is my opinion. It is the bastardization of what was created and where it has been taken versus and disrespected for that matter. And that is where the disturbance comes in, the disrespect, the inability to get the part that is the foundation of everything that the new nuances and the people that are doing that they've left behind. And my thing, and this is my personal opinion, if you want to do something else, then go do that. Nobody in the real steppers world is going to stop you. Knock yourself out. But call it something else. Call it whatever you want to call it, but let steppers be steppers. That's the whole thing. Reggie Miles says, when money enters into anything, the morals, culture, legacy are turned away. Exactly. Thank you, Reggie. And that is to answer. That also is another part of the answer for Anthony Sumner. Let me get Kirk on here right quick. Let's get my man on the line so we can talk about some of this stuff.
Hello.
Kirk,
What's
what's
up,
up, baby?
man?
Okay, hang on one
What's up,
second.
man?
Let me get you on the line here. Let me get you in frame, sir. You doing
Yeah.
all right this evening, mister?
Oh, yeah, yeah, man. Can't complain.
My man.
Can't complain.
All right, let's get you up here. Okay, I gotta making a couple of adjustments here. All right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, my man Kirk White, one of two of the drops. What's up, man?
What's happening, man? What's happening?
So Kirk, you and Bridget were up in Milwaukee this week. Or
Yeah,
last
we
week.
was up there enjoying ourselves, man. Nice venue, man. They did a nice thing this year.
It looked
Yeah,
really nice. It looked wonderful.
it was.
So check this out. When and I'm going to ask you this because you have competed and won, you've judged. Give the audience some idea of what the criteria is and what the judges are looking for. And the reason we're asking this is because there's always so much confusion between new school and old school and the nuances that separate those two categories and how we as a let's just say I don't know nothing. How do we differentiate between the two when we see two people on the floor or two different categories on the floor dancing?
Well, the difference really is the only difference in new school and old school. Old school, you dancing. In
Mm-hmm.
new school, they allow you to be creative so we can make the crowd feel good or come out with something new, something different. It just, to enjoy
Now, when you
yourself.
when you say creative, though, talk to me? Tell me what that means.
Creative is something that's like if you're a dancer from Chicago, creative is something that you hear in the music that you just all of a sudden just do. You respond to it or you dance into something in that music and you can identify it and the crowd can identify you identifying what you're hearing by
Mm-hmm.
your actions and what you're doing. So that's something that you're creating, you're doing right then and there. It's like the spirit of the moment, you doing that. And that's the same thing as in old school, but old school is not any tricks, anything to it. See, in new school, you can kind of like, you can act it out what you're doing,
Hmm.
totally act it out without even dancing, and then go back to your dancing.
Okay. So now that's
But
that's considered new school.
right,
Okay.
right.
So to be clear then, so and I was what I was discussing earlier was how the competition itself kind of changed around once people started, and how the category got divided into into two sections because of all of the people being extra creative. The Caspers and the Weasels, doing all that wild stuff they used to do with the diapers
Well,
and the
that was
capes and
that was that was all different. That was freestyling, and now they changed to try and you know go with the flow of things changing.
hmm
They just doing new school instead of the 39 and under. It used to be a 39 and under category,
hmm
and then it used to be a 40 and up category,
hmm
and they both was original. So now they just added a little flavor because they said that, the younger people are trying to imitate what the older people are doing, but by them trying to learn it, they don't really have it yet. So old school was good back in them days. You just see people dance like Fred Astaire, the Ginger Rogers, all that.
hmm
It was going on back then. But nowadays it's changing, so you got to change with the flavor. And new school is doing a lot of different creative things, whether it's tricks, is dips, is slides, whatever it is. That's what they do now. But at the end of the day, this whole competition in Chicago, in Milwaukee, wherever they have competition is,
hmm
if you notice one thing that everybody is overlooking, and that's the fellowship that you have with millions of people that wants to see the ticks, the docs, the all that. They enjoy
the Kirk, the
seeing that
Bridges.
in person. So this is what people trying to take away from a lot of that. When at the end of the day, the competition is just something extra. But the main thing is fellowshipping and showing love to each other, man, and
That
spreading it
part right
out
there,
there.
bro.
That's what it's about.
I'm with you 100% on that. So Anthony Sumner on here says, does that mean that creativity is limited in old school?
To a certain point, you can't do any flips or dips or pick somebody up in the air. You can't do that in old school because old school was more or less a debonair type of dance. It was
Exactly.
more or less, like I said, the Fred Astaire, the smoothness,
And that's
you
what I was
know.
explaining about people dancing. The original dance was waist down, footwork,
Right,
leg work, wasn't
right,
no bunch of
right,
turns. So yeah.
right, right. But they allow you to do a little bit more turns now in old school than they used to. It used to be real strict with that. But now like you say, you got to change with the time, man. I mean, let people do what they do. It's still stepping. It's still original old school stepping.
Right. But
60 and up is still bopping pretty much. Do a little stepping, but
right.
that's what that category really
But
was.
what, yeah, and but the objective here tonight though is that we make sure that people have a little bit of clarity about what they're watching when they see this, because I have seen competitions where people will say, well, hell, well, what was the difference between that and the last category when you see certain things? So yeah,
Well, you got to remember they put a lot of people. They allow a lot of people to advance. So that's the mistake that that's what the difference is, and it's not taking anything from people, but some people got their own way of doing old school, and that's their own way. In Chicago, we got plenty of old people that just get out there and do their dance, and they call it
right,
stepping. So we let them have that because at the end of the day, they're enjoying themselves.
yeah.
That's what
But
we
now,
want
but
to
now
see.
specifically for the competitions though, there has to be some level of clarity. I mean, that's just and again, because I personally myself, I want to get to the bottom of it. I want to know exactly what I'm looking at, because when you watch, like, and I'll give you a prime example. Oh, probably in 2018 or 19, I don't even remember which one it was. Ty Skippy entered the new school category with his niece, Henrietta.
Hmm.
And a lot of people, I heard a lot of, comments where people, oh, he ain't gonna be able to do this, he ain't gonna win that. And he did win. He and Henrietta did win the new school category that year. And I found it interesting because he did do new school, but he also had a whole lot of original, which is Ty Skippy style, in the dance. And I think it pissed a lot of people off. And I thought it was interesting. I mean, I thought they did a great job. He did what he always does. He got up there and he killed it. His niece, she did her thing. She's very good as well. But again, the lines, in my opinion, were very blurred. So the question then becomes, at this stage of the game, because we don't, I'm not going to say it'll never happen again, but since we don't have all of the theatrics and stuff that we once had, is it even necessary to still have an old school and new school category?
Well, I think everybody right now know that it should just be one category, and it's because it got away some kind of way, just like
Mm-hmm.
back in the I say in the near the end of the '80s, Steppin got away from Chicago quite a bit, because
Yeah,
a lot of good people moved, locked up, went in military. They did a lot of things,
I'm one of
but
them.
but V103 caught it, and just in time in 1990s when they started their
Right.
first real artists, and it got people back out there again. So we've been through this stuff since the 90s, man, the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the 90s, and it's going to keep evolving to where hopefully it's still going to have the name Steppin', but to
Well, nah,
identify it now,
I
I
would
think you
rather.
have to talk to the CEO how he will really have those judges identify, because he give a talk to them
Mm-hmm.
before they get out there and judge. He always talk to them. He talked to the people to contestants and all that. He talked to everybody so they can get a clear understanding. And it's like this here. If you think you should win, then when you get off that stage, you know good and well you got something coming. And if
Mm-hmm.
you don't have that attitude, then you ain't gonna have that win, because that's what it's about, man. Putting in work and just follow through and doing what you got to do that night, not the
Mm-hmm.
day after, the day before. That night, you got to do that.
That night, your time on stage. That's it. Do it.
That's it.
Leave it
That's
all
it.
up there.
Yeah. And like I say, man, let's not try and allow people to try and talk bad about this competition, because honestly, if it wasn't for this competition, I don't think I would know half the people,
Man,
by
I
getting
agree
on that stage.
100%.
And,
I definitely
and it's
agree.
it's 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 all good, man. It's all in love, man.
Yeah, I
You
definitely
know.
agree. I'm happy, and I'm happy that we have the opportunity, man. I mean, hell, Kirk, shit. I probably wouldn't know you, man. I mean,
Right.
it's been a wonderful thing. Reggie Miles said the first WLSC was sponsored by Rodney Burke and Anheuser Busch. Yes, exactly. I said a major sponsor earlier. I wasn't gonna get into the details, but there you go. Thank you, Reggie, for that detail and that
Yeah.
bit of detail. That's absolutely correct. And he was the one who, and Rodney Burke is the one who actually pushed the idea to Bush to sponsor the event. And it went well for a few years, actually.
Yeah, yeah. It went well for a while. Like I say, it's all in love, man. And people, they love to dance, because think about this here. They was getting how much back in the days when it started? 22,000.
Yep. They was getting thousands, racks, racks
I
on
I
racks.
so what they getting on? 2,500.
Yeah.
So that let you know that it's all about having fun and enjoying yourself, man. All that other stuff, man, it can go on the
Yeah.
wayside.
Anthony
That's
Sumner
just
says, I think the various categories are to ensure more winners and more people feel they have a chance. That's exactly right, Anthony Sumner, because when it first started, it was winner take all. Period. You the
yeah,
best of the best. And you didn't
yeah,
just qualify because you came and danced. You had to make it through the different stages of the competition in order to even get to the point where you was in the money.
Yeah.
So
True.
yeah. All right. Well, look, Kurt, man, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for coming on, man, and hanging out with me for a minute and giving us a little bit of insight because we need as much of that as we can get as we move into this competition season, which we are looking forward to here at Inside Steppin'. I can't wait to get to Chicago, man, and get up there and we gonna stream this thing live all over the world. So, Kurt, like
And I
always,
just want
brother,
to say, man,
go
I
ahead.
just want to say to everybody, you know, at the end of the day, look at all of us come together and suited up, booted up,
Man,
fellowship and having fun. The competition is some
you know
extra. I
what?
used to go.
Hey,
Go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off, but since you said that, I do have a comment that I want you to address right quick. Sharice Wright said the whole scene has been dragged down. People no longer respect the set. Folks show up dressed like they came to clean up the place. What's your thought about that?
People People come out to have a good time. They put clothes on to enjoy themselves, to let them know what it. Hold on, everybody's not. Hold on, everybody's not dressed because sometimes people can't afford it. Sometimes people just don't want to dress at that event. They got their own swagger. Everybody got their own swagger, and they bring that swagger to the
But you
competition.
gotta
Whether
admit, though, Kurt. I mean, there was a time, man, we put on clothes. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We didn't just show up looking any kind of way.
well, see, you know what? It was a time when we didn't dance with our kids either. So that opened up the door for anything. When you allow the kids to come in, then anybody can play and can come how they want to come.
Yeah,
As come as you are now,
yeah.
because you couldn't get on that dance floor without any step of shoes on.
Right.
There wasn't no gym shoes and
You
no
couldn't even
boots.
get in the spot. So
No, you can't get in with no gym shoes. You couldn't get in with gym shoes. You couldn't get
mhm.
in with none of that combat boots. No, they didn't play that. You ain't got your bag of steppers in your bag or something. You can't get in there.
Well, like
And
smiling.
we was always stepping sharp.
That's right. Like smiling happily just said, long as you don't stink.
Yeah, and make sure you back then you couldn't bump nobody without saying excuse
Oh
me.
man. No,
I mean, it was a lot of etiquette that was back then that's
a lot of
way
stuff
over
people take
people's
for
head
granted
now.
now. A lot of etiquette. You're absolutely correct. People knew how to be in their lane and stay in it. Hey, Bridget, how you doing,
Hey,
dear? It's good to see
all
you.
right. Good to
Yeah,
be seen.
there you go.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
no.
she got something to say before we
No,
get off.
no,
Come on,
no,
let us speak up peace.
no. You just wasn't like you asked the question, but
Go
you
ahead.
weren't answering. Like you,
Answer it. Go ahead.
I don't have an answer. I mean, as far as the categories concerned, to me, my opinion, it shouldn't be any categories. Just get up there and dance, do what you do.
Hmm.
That's just my opinion.
I agree.
Please be proud.
I understand like Walker's category, of course, trio category, of course. But when it comes to this old school, new school, whatever, because again, I've been saying, and I've seen couples win in new school. I've seen couples win in old school doing the same thing and placed in both categories, you know, 2 years in a row. So what's the point? Like
Right.
of the
I mean that's really what I'm getting at here. I'm just really, it's there. I have yet to have someone make a statement that gives myself or my audience or others a definitive answer as to what we're talking about in terms of the differences that show up literally on stage during a competition.
now I would say this. When I was when I was told when I was learning coming up, okay, the 8 count, of course, it was the new school, dance to a count or whatever.
Hmm.
You can do a lot of turns and whatnot. And then I was told that in the old school category, you're not supposed to do a lot of turning, which I see all the time
Hmm.
in old school in the category in the competition. But it's supposed to be, from my understanding, it's supposed to be a right turn, left turn, but it's mostly footwork, dancing,
Right.
dancing.
Right. And that's
That's
I mean, and that's what I've always been accustomed to. I'm like, I'm not a big fan. I mean, I don't knock nobody who does it, but I'm not a big fan of all of the turning and stuff. And maybe
mhm.
maybe I got jaded at a young age, but that's just not to me that's just not stepping. As a matter of fact, one of the viewers made a comment
Mhm.
earlier on here and said that excessive turns equal space fillers for a lack of footwork. Just my opinion,
Yeah.
and she's absolutely
What?
correct. That's something I've said on this show multiple times. And at some point,
Yeah.
it makes you wonder which way this dance is gonna, is going, or will we maintain the root of the dance, or will it be lost to a bunch of pseudo ballroom nonsense? That's just me.
What? Well, I know also I don't like to be turned a million, 1,000 times. I do not like that. If you're gonna turn me for 3 or 4 minutes consistently, we wasn't up and down the lane. That's not dancing.
Right.
And I do know that there are guys who have been, that have been taught, you know,
Ten
the,
thousand
in the last
combinations.
10 years or whatever, that that's all they know how to do is turn. That's all they know is turn. That's all they know. They don't
You know
know
what, Bridget? I'm gonna tell you.
how to dance. They don't.
I saw something recently. I was watching somebody dance,
Mm-hmm.
and it looked to me like he was driving a car. It looked to me, and don't get me wrong, it's good to have a strong lead, but this dude literally looked like he was driving a car, like he was just spinning, turning. I just was
Yeah.
like, wow, like
Where's
really,
the
they're
joy?
not
Where's the
dancing
fun and
together.
joy? Where's the dancing? When are we gonna dance?
He driving a truck. They ain't dancing. That's
But all right, but I'm gonna give you something deep, man, and you can take this home with you.
bring it, bring it.
Oh Lord.
Original old school people are still existing today. They are still here.
Yes,
What happened was Chicago didn't know that this dance can go viral like it did back when they took it on the road and they got that $10
hmm,
per person. Because what happened, they should have, before they accepted any money, they should have had a handbook and gave them to them and told them this is the history of Chicago stepping before all this came about. And
man,
then you have more understanding about new school and old school because the book ain't gonna change itself.
I agree. Well,
So
you ain't gonna
that
get no
that's
argument
that
with me
would have
there,
been the
but
foundation right there.
but I'm gonna show you something, and you absolutely correct, but you have to fault the instructors for their lack of their lack of providing this information. Because I'm gonna tell you something, I have been in places where people were having classes, and I literally heard people say, "Oh, they talking too much. I just want to dance," and it's because they're not being given those cultural gems and those planting those cultural seeds that people need to understand in order to actually immerse themselves into this dance properly. It's not just 8 steps. People need to know that.
At the end of the day, what it was, the eighth step was something to help a variety of people understand a limited part of the dance, not
Absolutely.
the whole dance. Because
Absolutely.
here's the thing: after somebody learned the 8 count, you could take a survey. 90% of the people that learned the 8 count, it took them 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years to get off that 8 count to learn how to step.
To actually step. There you go. Because that 8
And
count stuck them. It got
and
them
and,
stuck.
and once and once they learn how to actually step, that is original Chicago stepping right there. But
Now,
it takes a while for that.
absolutely. I agree 100%. Thank you for that. All right. So, Bridget and Kurt, listen, I appreciate y'all. Always good to see you too. And
You too.
man, looking forward. Matter of fact, we'll be home this weekend, y'all. So I look forward if I get a chance to see y'all.
Oh yeah, we're gonna make it happen.
My man.
Tell the wifey we say hello,
I most
man.
certainly will. And I want to
And
thank
All
y'all for
no,
right.
taking your time out, man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
yeah, all right, take care, man.
Y'all be good now.
All right.
Peace.
Okay.
All right.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Drops, Bridget and Kirk White. And we got another guest coming on too, y'all. So
Hello.
this woman done lost her mind. I don't know what that was about. But as you heard yourself, the lines remain blurred. The understanding, or what we need to be understanding, sometimes it gets a little confusing, but we're trying as hard as we can tonight to try and bring about some of that clarity if we can. Anthony Sumner, you said that you were trying to get your hands on some VIPs. I believe they are sold out, sir. I did hear Pete mention that about a week or two ago that the VIP were completely gone. So I don't know what you could do to remedy that. Yeah, it's not my lane. I would suggest that you reach out to Pete Frazier if you can, and just ask him straight up if he can do anything for you. That would be the person to talk to. Sharice Wright, you're absolutely right. The floor etiquette is a thing not completely of the past. I believe, I genuinely believe that there are a lot of people that are working toward revitalizing some understandings about this dance, where we are and where we need to be. And I think that we're doing a fairly good job of educating. And as long as I can continue to do this, I'm going to keep doing it, just trying to make sure that people understand as much as they can. That's my thing, y'all. Sandra Nixon, how you doing? Hey, Talia Beckton Davis, y'all. Talia, we will see you this weekend. CVS All Class Picnic. Dennis Moore was happening. All of CVS will be in the building. We will be, how they say, C4L for all my Cavaliers that are in the house, because I know it's a bunch of y'all. You know, some of the coldest steppers came out of CVS. I'm just saying. Speaking of cold steppers out of CVS, I'm getting one on the line right now. We're going to be in the house. We're not going to be doing a lot. We're going to hit the Saturday night. We'll probably hit a few spots. And then Sunday, we're going to hit the picnic. And then we're going to do some things on Sunday night.
Yo,
And we're
B,
going to move forward from there. Yes, sir.
what's up, man?
I don't know. Where's your video, man? Your video out?
Oh, it ain't supposed to be out.
Well, you need to fix
Hold
it.
on.
You need
There you go.
There you are. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you, for those that don't know, Mr. Josiah
you
Burt,
go again.
old school Joe, DD. I could go down. He got about 40,000 names. I just gave you his government name.
I'll see y'all later.
Them your students leaving?
Yeah. We just got through working out a little bit, man.
That's what's up. So, Joe,
Yo,
big question for the night, man.
okay.
What's the difference between old school and new school in competition?
Oh, there you go. Okay, you said what's the difference between old school and new school in competition, right?
Yep.
New school consists of turns and spins, very little footwork, but more combinations like turns and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Synchronized moves, like everything. Everything should be synchronized moves, but it's supposed to look like a dance more so than just spins and turns. That's new school.
Okay.
Okay. Old school is consisted of the basic steps, footwork, stunt moves, some spins. I mean, not some spins, unless the guy know how to spin or your partner know how to spin, and turns. It's like 7 or 8 different turns that we used to do. We didn't do a whole bunch of turns. And then the turns that we did in there, if it's 2 guys battling, it's only like 7 or 8 turns that you give. And it's not the same kind of turns that how you turn a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference.
Yeah.
But if you're talking contest for either one of them, then I would say contest, you have to tell them. Now, okay, let me use old school because I can explain it just that much simpler. In old school, I would tell you on paper, if it's 3 judges, this judge, you're required to look at their basic steps for their continuity, their timing, their synchronization on how they move. First, you should see the lead and the follow, even when they switch the lead. Mm-hmm. Because in the contest, you got to make them. You got the lead, and you got the follow. You got the lead, and you got the follow. So it's a switch in the original when we switch leads, so you know who's leading and who's following.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those are things you got to look for. Stunt moves, like things got names like Pop Go to Weasel, Irish Skip, London Bridges. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Look moves like that. Those things we're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's in the dance, I'm gonna tell you what we're looking for. The different terms in there, that's what we looking for. So you're supposed to get judged on the pieces of the dance.
Mm-hmm.
X amount, you got to do, if it's 7 turns, I need you to do at least 4 of them, right?
So in other words, you're describing what a criteria would look like if there
Right.
was one, a foundational criteria that would allow anyone to be able to judge
And
a
even
competition.
Yep, and then even in the new school, you're looking for some of the same thing. You're looking for a timing, synchronization, like turns, difficulty in different turns. You got to do at least 1 to 2 triple turns, 1 double turn outside of the regular little turns that you give. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to look for certain things. See how see the difficulty in it. See how they transition from one to the next. That's the kind of stuff you're supposed to look for if you're doing competition in a contest.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, hell, you broke that down pretty cold, mister. Thank you very much. Now, let me ask you this question. Should we return to a winner-take-all style competition versus categories?
When it comes to the new school style of dance, you shouldn't do a winner take all. But see, the thing of it is, you do first, second, third place. But when you do categories, you got to specify what's being done. Now, in each category, the same things should not be done in the same in different categories. If it's a different category, it should look like a different style of dance. It's the same dance, have a different style to it. Like you got old school, you got new school. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But the way they got it broke down, and then sometimes it gets kind of difficult for me to understand how they do it. It's like you got original.
You're not alone. You're not the only one.
And new school. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. They tell you a lot of times. They tell you what you can't do more so than what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying that this should be in reverse. We should have this is what you're supposed to do, and we need these compulsory items to be boxes to be checked in order for you to be scored thus to this point.
Right.
Before we get into the nuances and the subtleties and the moves themselves.
So if anybody got a problem with the scoring, you should be able to show them this is what we graded you on, and this is what you did. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to the original, it should be a winner take all. Ain't no categories in the original dance. Mm-hmm. It's winner take all. Put your money in the hat and get it cracking. But when you're doing original dance, when you battle dancing, it's winner take all.
Right. Ambassador Kevin Neville's checking in. I see you, my brother, in the building. Katura Green, Marquita Hill. I had to go and make sure I got all my folks. I got to cover everybody. And if I didn't, y'all charge it to my head and not to my heart, because I hit the ones that I can when I see them come through. So man, Joe, I appreciate that breakdown, brother, because we trying to get clarity. I'm trying to make it so this is competition season. We got all of this stuff coming up, and we got to make sure that the people.
Okay, people. If people have problems with what's going on with the contest, right? Mm-hmm. Then they need to get a petition. I'm just trying to make a point.
You're going real organized now. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is, if you want something to grow the way it needs to, this will need to be done. There's a lot of things I probably could say, but I won't. Being politically correct, mm-hmm. I won't do it. But it's some things that can be done that people need to do.
Yeah, no doubt. You're absolutely right. I mean, let's face it, man. The barn door is open. The cat is out the bag. The horse done ran off the ranch. Somebody got to get a handle on it.
Ooh, really not. So it's like this here. If anybody get in the contest, if you're gonna get in the contest, you got to suck up what come your way, or don't get in it. Yeah. And look here. And if it don't, watch this. And if it don't go your way, don't complain. Don't get upset. But when you go out there, show out. Do what you got to do. But if things don't go your way, don't get upset and complain. Take it like a champ and roll with it.
Right.
If you don't like what happened, then do it next year.
There you go. And I mean, and to be honest, you know, people, you know, you hear people say stuff like, why Tick and Doc, why don't they sit down, this kind of thing. Hey man, they paid their dues. They wasn't always winning.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it like this here. Speaking on Tick, Doc, and all them guys, right? I'm gonna give you something. One time, the Ravens were playing the Eagles, right? This when Ray Lewis was still in the game. This was still when T.O. was playing. So what happened was T.O. scored, right? And he started doing the Ray Lewis dance. And it pissed Ray Lewis off. And Ray Lewis complained. And they asked Deion Sanders, what do you think about that? And he was on the team with Ray Lewis, right? Deion said, if you don't want him to dance, don't let him in the end zone. Right?
There you go.
Said that to say this. If you don't like what Tick and Doc is doing, go in there and beat them.
There it is. Real simple. Real simple.
It's simple than that. If you don't want to see him, then you get in there and show him how the game go. Go in there and beat him.
Yeah. Facts. That is absolute facts.
So I don't think it get no simpler than that.
Nah, I mean, drop the mic, bro. Real talk. You know, that's the bottom line. But, you know, we got a lot of folks that, you know, they'll find something to complain about. I mean, it doesn't matter what we do. We're going to have supporters and we're going to have detractors. No matter who you are or what you do, that's just the nature of the beast.
Always.
Yep.
Well, and look here. It's going to get dark. I'm getting ready to go out the house because I got to go to a class. I got a class I need to take. I'm probably late, but it is what it is. I'll catch up. But big dog, always a pleasure, man.
No doubt. Collaboration is real, baby.
Always.
One of my collaboration members. We all on deck, man. Daryl on Smooth on here, O on here. All the collaboration is in full effect tonight, player. All right,
there
man.
Y'all go.
Hey, I see you this weekend, sir. C4L. Cavaliers for life.
Huh? CBS, kid.
Talia on here too.
Yeah. Trouble.
All right, man.
Trouble.
Be easy, baby.
Trouble.
Peace, man.
Hey, I'm gonna holler at you, homie.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Josiah Burt, who also helped us to get a little more clarity about what's going on. I'm gonna take one more call of the night. Hold on. Hey, man, all I got to say is you better answer your phone. That's all I got to say. I'm about to ring you. You better answer your phone. I'm going to peel your head when I see you, mister. And that'll be this weekend. You're going to get one to the dome, player. I'm not really violent, y'all. Don't listen to me. I'm just talking. Let me stop. So the whole thing, y'all, is that we've all basically, I guess, come to the consensus that, unfortunately, there is no uniform situation that allows us to absolutely understand the exact criteria that each category has. So with that said, and as Bridget White pointed out, okay, I'm peeling your head when I see you, bro. You know I'm calling you. As Bridget White pointed out, she doesn't believe there needs to be any category between old and new school. Because if you see people win one category and then win the other and they're doing the same thing, well, what are we really talking about here? Now, that's just my opinion, and of course, that was Bridget's opinion. However, I mean, we are where we are. Now, I will say this. We had the Milwaukee's largest was last weekend, and it looked pretty nice. Kurt and Bridget were there. Bridget was one of the judges. The competition looked really good. It was the last preliminary before Yeah, I'm peeling heads, stepping in style. It was the last preliminary before the world's largest next month on my, well, the day after my birthday. My birthday is the 15th. And and I'll be flying that day to get to the world's largest for the 16th so we can broadcast live. So those of you who are going to be doing watch parties and that sort of thing, y'all get yourselves together. Make sure you got all your snacks and your TVs ready, your big screens, because it's going down. And also, Karen Nichols points out, Miss Crystal, your comments reminded me as to how many ice skaters had to perform specific compulsory movements for a competition known as school figures. It was a major score toward their freestyle. Karen Nichols, absolutely. That is exactly the point that we're getting at here. There needs to be some compulsory movements and understandings that allow people to move into other areas of the dance. So we will be broadcasting and streaming live for the world's largest. So y'all make sure that you got your big screens all set up with your YouTube channel already ready and subscribed to Inside Steppin', so that when we go live, you all are live with us in the room. And we're going to have cameras up on the floor as well as a back away. We're going to have a full shots of the room, the whole nine. We're going to be dead on top of the competition, making sure that everybody gets to see what they need to see. It's going to be wonderful, y'all. We're going to have a great time. Now, I got to do this disclaimer beforehand. If things get a little sketchy on the internet side, bear with us and keep in mind, this isn't costing you anything. Bear with us because last year we had a little issue because of the fact that everybody and their mama seemed like they was on the doggone they was on the on their phones. Do you know there were people literally sitting in the room watching my show? In the room, in the same room I'm in. You know, y'all, that eats up bandwidth. But I'm working on a solution for that as well. So we'll see what happens between now and then. Kevin Nevels, ambassador. Hey, man, I just tried to call you, man. Man, me and you gonna fall out, homie. Real talk. Anyway, I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. And so while we're broadcasting from Chicago at the world's largest, y'all, just be prepared for anything. You never know what's going to happen. Also, we will be doing the Texas Heat 2 weeks afterwards. Another competition. It's going to be fantastic, like always. It's going to be going down. Also, and see, and now he on here. See, Kevin, you, man, Ambassador, me and you gonna fall out. Now he gonna put a post in here talking about, come check us out. We'll be in the far right corner of the convention center. But I just tried to get you on the show, man. Why you playing? Look, here he calling me on the phone. Man, I'm gonna hit you in your answer your thing here, man. Quit playing with me. I'm calling you back, Jack. Now in between those two competitions, we will be in Bloomington, Minnesota for Denim and Diamonds, y'all. That is gonna be nice. I cannot wait. We're looking forward to that. Let me see what this one. Hey, man, why you ain't answering your messenger, man?
It wouldn't show up, Brian. I didn't know how to answer it.
What you mean you didn't know how to answer it? Hey, man, this is what you do. Listen to me. Go on your messenger and hit me on there.
Okay.
All right. Y'all see what I got to put up with. This is my co-host for the world's largest, y'all. It's gonna be calamity. It's gonna be a calamity, y'all. But we gonna have fun. I tell you what, we had a great time last year. If you all, when you bored, you ain't doing nothing, you just sitting around, go on YouTube on the Inside Steppin' channel and look for the world's largest from last year. Kevin Nevels, the ambassador, and myself. Hey, man, you at the embassy, bro?
I'm in the embassy.
He's at the embassy, y'all. This is Ambassador Kevin Nevels at the embassy, y'all, in the building. Hey, man, I'm looking forward to next month, bro.
Oh, man. We got a couple more weeks coming. We're going to be in the far right corner of the convention center. We're gonna be putting it down inside Steppin with Brian Forbes, the ambassador. We're gonna get it in at the
Yes, sir.
world's largest steppers contest, the
It's going
32nd annual.
it's going down.
Yes, yes,
Oh, I see
yes.
you in the studio over there. Okay.
Oh yeah.
My man. So how was the harbor tonight, man? It was y'all's last night, right?
No, last week was the last night. We got we just found out this week they doing construction for the Obama Center, the Obama
Okay.
Library.
Right, right.
So we had to shut it down a week early.
Are the boats still in the harbor over there?
Yeah, the boats have to be out by the 1st of October.
Okay. Dig that. That's what's happening.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so so right quick, man, while I got you on the line, I'm gonna hit you with the same thing I hit my other two guests with. Um, my question for you, sir. uh,
What is
what what makes what separates new school and old school in terms of the competition?
oh the I'm gonna say the old school is a lot less turns,
Mm-hmm.
a lot less turns. I'm gonna say and the music.
Okay. The music. You think
Yep.
the music makes a difference?
Absolutely,
Coming from a
absolutely,
DJ.
absolutely. Just my opinion. I think the us the older steppers, uh, the old schoolers prefer the Marvin Gaye's, the Dramatics, the
Facts.
Barry White,
Facts.
yeah, music over Tupac.
Hey,
You know,
Belinda, that's my homie right there, Miss Belinda Foxette Jones in the
yeah.
building. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm definitely not taking that off the table. Well, the conversation revolved around why we have so much difficulty sometimes differentiating between the two. And when we watch the competitions, what separates one category from the other in terms of style. And nowadays, it's kind of hard. The lines have been blurred somewhat. And so we're just trying to give people a little bit of clarity and make them, get a little bit better understanding because when we watch people compete, we often see sometimes some of the same stuff.
I've had this debate with several people. In my opinion, uh, we regular dance when we go to the clubs.
Right.
You know, so you have to put in competition. You have to put some kind of flair to what you guys, to what you're doing in
Mm-hmm.
order to win. I'm gonna say, in order to win, you got to put some extra in it, some kind of way. I can't see somebody just regular dancing and then coming in first place.
Yeah. Well, hell, we're gonna see how it go. I'm looking forward to what's coming up. I mean, because of course, we have uh, this event, and then right behind it, we're gonna have Texas Heat. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. I haven't been to Texas Heat, but I'm sure it's uh,
oh
uh,
man, you need to
a
come to
lot
Texas
different.
Heat, man. You need to be at Texas Heat, man. You missing
I
it,
know,
man.
man. I'll be so busy, man, and
I'm
working, man.
gonna be like you when I
Uh,
grow up. I'm gonna be busy too.
well, plus I am for hire as well. So, Mr.
That's
Nike.
right, DJ extraordinaire.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be a great competition like it always has been. This is the 32nd annual. I advise everybody get your tickets. Get in touch with Pete Frazier, any of the Majestic Gents. Get your tickets and come on
Do you
out. We're
happen to
gonna,
know whether or not uh uh he sold out of VIP? I saw.
yes, the VIP. I'm pretty sure they're sold out. Um, I'm not positive on that, but at this time of the yeah, I'm
Okay.
sure. But they can give Pete a call. I got his number. If it's okay, Brian.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Put it up there. Right quick before you do that, ladies and gentlemen, if you out there in Las Vegas, y'all got to hook up with my girl Kim Murray out there. Her and her partner, they're gonna be doing a Labor Day thing, Chicago style Steppin Gala, September 2nd. They got two ghost DJs, one of which is my man DJ Mr. Mello from right here in San Antonio, Chicago's own, straight from the west side. He's gonna be getting it in. There's a place called Dance Stars Cafe, 3399 South Jones Boulevard. Now, last month, I DJ'd their event, and we did it virtually. Very cool. Ambassador, you would have loved it.
Oh
You
wow.
would have loved it,
Oh
baby.
wow.
I DJ'd that event out in Vegas, man, right here from the studio. And it was really cool because they had me on all the screens so that people could actually see me putting in work like I was in the DJ booth, and they had a camera set up and I could see all of them.
Oh wow.
And I was able to talk to the people in the room, man. It was very cool. So my man DJ Mr. Mello is gonna handle that for us this month.
Oh, that's great.
Out there. My girl
Oh,
Kim Murray doing the thing out there. It's called
you know
Ruffles and
what?
Bow
Well,
Ties, y'all.
give your boy a plug. Let her know.
Incognito steppers. Oh man,
That's
yeah, you
right.
know. I got to look
So
out for my
yeah, so
peeps.
anybody, man, come on down to the world's largest 32nd annual world's largest steppers contest. It's at the Tinley Park Convention Center, 18501 South Harlem in Tinley Park, Illinois. I'm sure they still got tickets available. You can give them a call at 773-339-7880, 773-339-7880. Tell Pete Frazier you heard about it on Inside Stepping. And man, and come on down. Check me and
Um,
Brian. We gonna be in the right hand corner over there.
we're gonna be in there somewhere. But one
That's
thing for
right,
sure, we're
man.
gonna have cameras where they need to be. Right quick,
Man, come
man. I
on, check
gotta
us out. Get your interview. Get your shout out.
hey,
Come check us out.
I got a message for you from somebody, man. They told me to tell you to check your smoke alarm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
thought
you know,
I thought I was the only one. Look, I swear, man, I don't even be hearing that thing. Look,
I don't hit. Man, it's been doing that for the last 16
oh,
years.
I already know. You
But
know
I
I
know.
know.
Last show he was
But
on.
I burned some bacon one day. It worked.
Say
So I'm
it
leaving it
came
alone.
it worked great. I know that's right. Yeah, so looking forward, man, to the to everything that's man coming forward. And I ain't gonna lie to you, after Texas Heat, man, I'm taking a long break, Jack. I'll be
I'm gonna
doing the
take a
regular
break.
Tuesday shows, but man, we've been busy, buddy. We've been busy, busy,
Man,
busy.
tell me, man. I got another call today, man. Uh, Lisa Lucky called me today.
I was
She
just
got
getting ready to say, man, plug Lisa's event, man, coming up here. She got on me
uh
today about not sending my information. Lisa, where you at, baby? Put your information in the live, so we'll
right.
have it.
Well, I don't know the actual date of the event. Which one, Brian? The one we're doing in December?
Yes, Karen Nichols.
I think
She
it's
says we'll.
December the 23rd.
Yeah,
We'll be in Gary, Indiana. We have more details, but you can call Lisa. I know her number is 219-616-2720. 219-616-2720. She got all the information. But we doing a classic car show and Steppers event outdoors, September the 17th, the day after World's Largest. If you and Poppy is here, I'd like to invite you guys to come on
you
out with
said the
me.
day after.
Yeah, that's
We
Sunday.
might be there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna probably still be. I'm gonna see, cause we were
Well,
trying to
you gotta
decide. First
come.
of all,
You
I
gotta
couldn't make
drive.
my mind up if I was flying or driving, but I think we're gonna drive. Um, for the
You
record,
gotta come and
Blender,
get the old school, man, because I gotta take my truck.
see how you are. You ain't got no more old schools. You done.
Oh, trust me. Yes, I do.
Okay, I see you. Right quick, Belinda Fox at Jones. Thank you, Blended man. Listen, I don't know what nobody
Oh
do
man.
without her. I can't do without
Oh,
her.
she
She
the
just said
best, man.
ringside and VIP for the world's largest are sold out. General admission are the only seats available. That's why I thought I heard that. Okay, so yeah, that's what's happening.
Right. She the best, ain't she?
Man, stay on top of the game, baby.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I gotta think of something nice to do for her. Karen Nichols, Brian, will more DJs consider to do more virtual events? Karen, I believe that that is something that is possible in the future. However, you must consider that I am a technological freak of nature. So a lot of people, it is going to be possible, but there may be ways that it will become more simple to do. But I can tell you that it is not that simple a feat or to pull off, only because there are things involved technically that you know
Everybody
yeah,
ain't up
everybody
to
ain't gonna,
date on.
they're not gonna wanna put in the work. They're not gonna wanna pay the money, because I'm not gonna lie to you, this is not by any stretch of the imagination an inexpensive venture that we take on, especially when we do these remote shows. Keep in mind that I am not only working from my studio as we speak, I also have that what you see when I'm at these events. That's a mobile studio. That all of that is. This ain't cheap. And just being a DJ in general ain't cheap. Kirk White. Matter of fact, I'm glad I got both of y'all on here at the same time.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
get him
yeah,
off the
yeah.
line.
Kirk talking about I got the old school coolest caddy. See. I got a bone to pick with both of y'all. Kirk, you went over there and bought my damn car. And Kevin, you sold it to him, and you didn't even ask me if I wanted it first. You see how y'all are?
I'm gonna feed you. I'm gonna buy you a
Man, look.
sandwich, man, with some of the money.
Y'all ain't right, man. Y'all ain't right. I'm telling you. Anyway, so let me see. So what? I'm too what? Here come the producer lady talking about I'm too long. You're going too far. It's too much. Shh. Be quiet. Get off the line. She trying to get me out of here, man. See how she do me? This is abuse.
Till I said hello.
She gone now. This is what she do. Stick her head in, yell some stuff at me, and then run off. Man, look at it. Yes, the Black Factor be back soon, y'all. Just for the record. I got people keep asking me about the Black Factor. Black Factor coming back. I promise you it's coming back.
Man,
Juan
Brown, I
Scale
like to
said
let
not a sandwich.
everybody know who's checking in. Uh, man, Chicago is growing and growing. We're gonna have the Obama Library probably be ready by next year. So when the Steppers, when they come to Chicago, we want to invite them to go and see an historic. It's going to be a historic library. For man, it's going to be great, man. They had to shut the harbor down. They're doing construction over there behind the Museum of Science and Industry,
Yeah.
and
I'm
the
looking
Obama
forward to
Center gonna
that.
be
That's
great,
gonna be
man.
a beautiful
Yes,
thing.
yes.
And before we go, Kevin, right quick, brother Bruce Palmore in the building. I see you, my man. Before we go, let me I included your name in something today. My girl Sanji Stewart over there living8count.com. She put a thing up. She said, okay, everyone, question of the day, which stepping DJs have you seen stepping? They have all been surprising me one at a time. So I included your name because I've seen you, I seen you hit the floor. Nobody mentioned you, Ambassador, so I had to put your name on there. Make sure
Oh
that it
yeah, put
stand.
me down 'cause I love stepping, man. I enjoy getting on the wood. As soon as I get off the box, if I'm playing and another disc jockey is playing with me, I'm like, I said, man, dude, play something good because I'm finna go dance.
There you go. My man. Well, look, man, I appreciate everything, Ambassador. What's the
Oh,
number one radio station?
WZON Radio,
You better tell these folks how to get a
the
hold of you, sir.
the new choice for radio, where anything can happen. You can catch me each and every Sunday from noon to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, slow jamming on a Sunday afternoon with yours truly, the ambassador, Kevin Nevels, your musical engineer. Just go to WZONradio.com, log in, scroll down till you see the play button, and you can hear me every Sunday, Or you can download the interactive app. You can go to simpleradio.com, download the Simple Radio app, and you can put WZON Radio in the search box. Take us everywhere with you 24/7.
Now, somebody on here, Richard Hill Jr., say, what type of car? Richard Hill Jr., it was a Cadillac XLR convertible, champagne in color, sitting on chrome 20s. You dig? And he sold it out from under me. But I ain't gonna complain. Who was that said earlier? Don't complain. I ain't gonna complain. Joe said don't complain. I ain't
Okay.
gonna complain.
Right.
Hey Kurt, if I see you in my car, dog, I'm just saying.
You ain't gonna be able to catch her, man. You ain't gonna be able to catch her. She's mighty fast.
See?
That's all right. We got another one, B, for you. We got a 91 Fleetwood over here, sitting on chrome,
Yeah, I know.
Snow White,
I
Snow
know.
White
I know.
with the Rolls Royce grill
They
in the
should have just
front.
called you Cadillac Man instead of calling you the ambassador, because you got I don't know how many damn Cadillacs, but yeah.
Willie Bell, dude. He called me Caddy Kevin.
That's what's up. All right, man. Look, appreciate you, baby. I gotta get out of here and
Appreciate you, man.
go on about
Inside
my day.
Stepping, y'all, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Log in.
That's it. 7 o'clock on a Tuesday, baby. We gonna do the damn thing. Kevin Nevels, holla at your boy. I'm gonna see you this weekend, sir.
One love.
Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've been kicked out of the studio. The producer lady said I got to go. I hope she got my dinner ready, because that's the only thing I'll be getting up for. Anyway, it's time for me to go on about the rest of my week. We got to finish preparing. Of course, we are in the process of preparing for the world's largest and other upcoming events. And like I said, Denim and Diamonds, y'all, for those of you who are nearby, Bloomington, Minnesota. So we're going to be up there with Denim and Diamonds doing the damn thing. My girl, Valeria Connor. Y'all need to be there. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. And that's what's up. Amazing. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you, my Inside Steppin' family. And of course, y'all, Texas Heat. If you ain't got your tickets for Texas Heat, you need to be getting your tickets for Texas Heat and getting ready to get it in, because it's going down. And that is in Houston, Texas, y'all. It's going to be fire. It's going to be fire. I'm looking forward to it. All right. With all of that said, I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch of stuff like I always do every single week. But nonetheless, it's time to go. What in the hell? See, now that's the ambassador. Why is he calling me, y'all? Tell me why he calling me right now. I don't even know what to say. He gonna make me fight him. Anyway, he just like to antagonize me. That's all. Anyway, Myra Matea, you said evening or Brian would be nice for you to jam us out. I'm not sure what that means, but if you looking for some music, you just let me know. I got you. Kathleen Rose Davis, yes, I do need some braids. However, I might surprise y'all for the world's largest and do something just a little bit different. I'm going back to my old ways, man. I'm going back to my old ways. Y'all stay tuned. I'm gone. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming in and hanging out and kicking it with your boy. I appreciate you. Love you. Because y'all make this thing all worthwhile. But before I go, I'm going to leave y'all with my favorite quote. Never measure an event by the quantity of the people in attendance, but by the quality of the memories you create with the people who are present. That is necessary law. I want y'all to remember that, write it down, quote it, take a picture, do whatever you need to do, but understand it, because it's necessary. It's necessary for all of us to understand. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and I am gone. Good night. The views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of its host, Urban Arts Enterprises, its advertisers, or affiliates, and are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.